Welcome back. You're listening to Barely Sober News and Reviews, where we talk about the latest buzz in movies and TVs. I'm Chris Jokas, and with me, as always, is my co-host, George Pecoraro.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Tonight, we will be bringing you some of this week's breaking stories, all the while keeping it barely sober. So what are we drinking today, George?
Well, come on. Game of Thrones is back. What do you think I'm drinking? Red wine. Let's go. I stocked
Your
up
favorite
for this
excuse.
I stocked up for the season. I started the books. I'm really liking it, and boom, that's all I need. Red wine. I'll save the bourbon for a little later. What do you got? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking beer again. I'm actually trying a new Blue Moon I haven't seen before. They got a Belgian Pilsner out there now, so I'm giving that a shot. It's not bad. I like it.
Cool.
All right, so we got
what do we got?
about.
Yeah, let's
go. Get right into it. First up, we're going to talk about some Star Wars news. So this is something I am not excited about, but I don't know. We'll see. I haven't seen Hail Caesar yet, but apparently Alden Ehrenreich is now the front runner that has emerged for the young Han Solo in his Solo movie. So we haven't really seen this guy's acting chops yet. We were rooting for Taron Egerton. We had Taron for Han. Hashtag Taron for Han. Didn't work out.
Hashtag that shit.
No one hashtagged it. We didn't even hashtag it. But yeah, so Alden Ehrenreich, I don't know. I feel like he doesn't have the look.
The Harrison Ford look, the swagger, awesomeness that is Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
The first thing when I looked at it, I just saw like a perfectly round head. Just straight, like I've never seen a head so round.
It is pretty round.
He's got a short skull, and I don't know, I just don't see him in a picture. I don't see him as Han Solo, Harrison Ford. As his acting ability, I mean, I can't judge that at all. I mean, maybe he's like a fantastic actor, and maybe he has a personality.
By all accounts, he's got a great acting chops. Apparently, he was pretty good in Hail Caesar. That was alongside George Clooney too, which is kind of
a big deal.
Yeah, a big deal. So I'm sure he's great. I'm sure Lucasfilm and Disney know exactly what they're doing.
Right. Maybe he has that like swagger about him that Harrison Ford does. Maybe they kind of like see his personality and they just see it like a younger Harrison Ford. So we can only speculate on his round head.
Get that round head out of here. Taron for Han. Bring him back.
Taron for Han, please. All right, what else we got here?
Yeah, so that's pretty much everything that's going on with Star Wars. They won a bunch of awards at the MTV Movie Awards too, but
of course. I mean, fan favorite.
They didn't win any Oscars, so who really cares? All right, so let's move on. So we got James Cameron, who fucking crazy ass James Cameron. He's been like working away on his Avatar movies for like 20 years.
Hey,
he's coming
James
out now.
Cameron does what James Cameron does.
Yeah. So he's announcing they're doing 4 Avatar sequels.
Wow.
First of all, does anyone even want one Avatar sequel?
I
let
would
alone
want
4?
one. I'll agree on one.
When did Avatar come out? Wasn't that like 2010?
Yeah, something like that. Like 2011. No, I don't know.
So 7 years later, or who knows when these are even coming out, because he's announcing them.
Yeah, that means they'll come out in 15 years.
He's been working on them.
So,
but
I thought about an Avatar movie, 4 of them. Perfect.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so he made Titanic, right? Like way back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then apparently from the moment he finished Titanic until 2010, he was working on Avatar that whole time.
Wow.
So it took him that long to put that movie together, and now he's taking like another decade pretty much. And I don't know, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, what is he thinking? I feel like he is like that South Park character where he's just like traveling underneath the sea and like coming up with Avatar movies.
I mean, I feel like the way the first like Avatar was is how amazing, how much money and time they spent on it. Do you think that he can't rush these 4 movies or rush the next Avatar movie?
It's just
weird.
Because
it's just taken away from the current Avatar.
Like, it's been 7 years since we even saw like an Avatar movie, and to now all of a sudden just drop like 4 more. Like, this is going to be a 5-movie series. I don't know. I can't even see where they take the story, but
Yeah, they're gonna make up some stuff.
Yeah, I am excited to see where he takes the technology, because if that's one thing about James Cameron, I mean he does know how to put together a great movie and blow our mind with like
I mean,
new
he's got to raise the
technology.
bar. You know what I mean?
Are you just gonna quote the South Park episode the whole time?
Yeah.
So speaking about James Cameron, he actually was the guy that made the first two Terminator movies, which are two of my favorite all-time movies ever. Since then, Terminator has taken a deep plunge down the toilet. And its latest movie featured Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, who is also our girl, Dany Targaryen. But she has just announced that she's not going to be back for any of the Terminator sequels. I can't say I'm disappointed, because I didn't like that last movie anyway. But yeah, how do you feel about the Terminator movies? Are you fans or no?
I am to an extent. I feel like some of the newer ones are kind of lacking on it.
Yeah, the newer ones blow.
I mean, Terminator is like the originals are just loved so much. So like,
I wish they'd just get James Cameron to stop making Avatar movies and make some Terminator movies again.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every once in a while to get a Terminator movie is great, and I feel like it's such a great story too. Like, I like the plot, like, because it's like I feel like everyone still thinks about that now, like how technology is, and the robots are still kind of new for our society.
What about Emilia Clarke not coming back as Sarah Connor? Because that kind of like puts another nail in like the coffin. I feel like they've already been struggling to stay afloat, and now they can't even keep like their main cast. I mean, like how many they've changed like John Connor 3 times in 3 movies, four times in 4 movies.
Maybe she didn't even like the Terminator movies when she was acting in them, and she was just doing it because it was a paycheck.
Yeah. Well, no one liked that movie anyway, so maybe she's
exactly. She's like, well, I kind of doing pretty well in Game of Thrones. I want to work on other things. I don't want to take a step back and try a Terminator movie.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like for me. It's like one of the most frustrating franchises, because I just see it flopping around.
Yeah. Because they bring Arnold back and whatever, and
yeah.
I feel like they need to cut out the nostalgia with it and just go make it their own kind of thing. And I feel like they would do so much better.
Totally.
Because everyone I feel like relates to Terminator, because it's constantly a battle with this technology in our society. So
I wish they just scrapped the last 3 movies they made and then kind of just start fresh. Like
just be like, oh, those movies, like, oh, that was a mistake.
Kind of like what they did. Well, I feel like that's what they tried to do. Because you know how, like, in the X-Men movies, they go back in time and kind of erase their shittier movies? And they kind of tried to do that with the newest Terminator. I don't know if you saw Genesis. They go back and they erase the timeline again. But it's like, that movie sucked too. So it's like, now they need another movie to erase that movie that erased the other movies. It's a fucking mess, man. But anyway, it is what it is. Maybe someday we'll get a Terminator movie. James Cameron will like travel back in time, and fucking who knows?
James Cameron does what James Cameron does.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the section we always get caught up in for like a half hour. We got some pretty big Marvel news that's been dropping lately. Deadpool 2 finally got officially announced. We got the same cast and crew basically working on it, same director, writers, so that's all great news. I mean, we knew it was coming, but
yeah, it's exciting, just kind of like just to see like, the big hit or like the comic book movie for adults is just, they're not waiting too long to keep us in suspense. They're kind of like, hey, let's, announce it, get another movie out.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm sure they're going to rated R again. I don't think that's really a question.
Yeah, that would be the dumbest thing to go back to make it PG-13.
The thing that worries me, though, is that how do you recapture that magic that was?
Do you think
Deadpool?
It's a Hangover kind of series?
Ooh, that's a great comparison. It might be.
Do you think it's like they're gonna redo the first Deadpool?
Well, I
I mean, I'm sure not, but but like the same jokes. Do you
I
think
think
they're
they're
gonna try?
smarter than that,
I
but
mean,
it is always a risk with these like
it could
comedic.
possibly it could possibly be if that is true, it would be Marvel's like first flop.
It's don't forget it's Fox. So Fox owns Deadpool, just like
Right.
Fox owns Fantastic Four, which was a flop, and they used to own Daredevil. So Fox is always kind of fucking up. They even fuck up on their X-Men movies,
Yep.
from
Yep.
here and there. So, but I think is Deadpool like is it a comedy or is it an action movie? Like what do you consider it more of? I almost feel like it's more of a comedy.
I feel like it's more of a comedy,
It really kind of is, right?
and then they just do some action to
It's like a
kind of
comedy action.
yeah to
As
like kind
opposed to
of
an action
focus your
comedy.
eyes, do some action, and then but it's mostly comedy,
And
definitely.
and yeah, so comedies always struggle to have a sequel.
Yeah,
Think of
because it's like all right, well, like I feel like with comedy you can't like reuse a lot of the same stuff because people are gonna most likely relate it to the first one. So if you can't do the same jokes because I'm like, oh, this is just the same movie. You got to like really do all new things.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you brought up The Hangover too, but we could talk about
Which is a
also.
good movie. I like it.
Yeah, you know what? Hangover 2 and Hangover 3 are enjoyable, but they're nowhere near what Hangover 1 was.
Yeah, I think
They didn't
cuz
they didn't like recapture that magic, and
right.
they just tried to copy and up the ante too much. And more recently, I didn't see Zoolander 2, but
I didn't either. I
I
knew you could tell that was going to be awful.
oh
Like
my
Dumb and
god.
Dumber too.
Right. Dumber Dumber 2 is another good example. Anchorman 2. So all those movies just don't hit home as well.
Hopefully they do well. I mean, but like any other comic book movie, there's other villains, other plots, other cool storyline that can go by. It's just I
And
think we're
tons of
just
other X-Men they could bring into the fold and mix up.
I feel like they just gotta do make correct jokes or make newer jokes and not really tie it too much to the original joke movies and other things like that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I think they could do it.
Yeah. So another example of some successful people taking on a new series is the Daredevil showrunners are now going to be the ones tasked with being in charge of Netflix's Defenders. So that's great news for me because I don't even know. Did you watch the rest of Jessica Jones or you just gave up?
I kind of stopped.
Yeah. So exactly, Jessica Jones was horrible compared to Daredevil.
Right.
It's already like faded from my memory. I was watching it because I was on the Daredevil high still, and I was trying to recapture that, but it just didn't happen. So knowing that the same people that made Daredevil are going to be making the Defenders, I think that's great news.
Yeah. 100% because yeah, like I feel like Daredevil was Netflix's biggest thing recently.
Yeah.
They do a lot. Like Netflix does a lot, and they're keeping it fresh, funky fresh. But I feel like their original stuff. I feel like Daredevil like really was their top notch. And the fact that yeah, I'm excited to see because I don't really know too much about the Defenders.
Well, Defenders is just it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist teaming up.
Right, but I never really like. Is that like they have a common story? Like, do they have a common enemy, or is it
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I just know that they're going to be like the Avengers, but the street level version.
right? Okay,
Fighting more like New York City crime as opposed to like aliens from another dimension.
is that kind of is they are they kind of like are they cutting seasons short of Daredevil? Is there going to be like one more season Daredevil and whatever, and then we're just going to go Defenders?
So I don't know what the
Is
order is going to
Punisher? Do you
be.
think Punisher is going to have a series?
I don't know. That's a good
And maybe
question.
at least one season or something like that.
That would be great, but I don't know because we got Luke Cage coming out, we got Iron Fist coming out, and I'm assuming Daredevil season 3 and Jessica Jones season 2 are going to come out at some point. And then I don't know when the Defenders is going to come out. I think they start filming it at the end of the year, though. So we should be seeing it within
Maybe
the next 2 years.
they'll do like same thing Marvel does. They'll have an Avengers movie, but there's also
Yeah,
solo
right.
movies. Yeah, all right, that's probably what will happen.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely pumped about that. I can't wait to see what they do with Iron Fist because he's the only guy part of that group that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we have no story on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know much about him either. But we do know that he was the guy that they cast for him as one of those Game of Thrones characters.
Right.
Loris.
He's
Yeah.
He's the gay guy.
Yep.
Who's in prison with
Marjorie's brother. Yeah. So
Marjorie's brother, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really find him a particularly good actor, but
I feel like you can't really notice him in Game of Thrones, and I feel like that's different. He's playing a completely different character.
So it's hard to imagine.
He's playing a guy from medieval era who is homosexual. He's completely on the other side compared to a superhero. In modern society.
I just love Daredevil and the Punisher so much.
I need more Punisher.
I know, totally. I know. If that's if there's one complaint about Daredevil season 2 is that could have used a little more Punisher.
Yeah, he takes off in the beginning and then kind of dies down.
For a while.
Right, because you kind of don't really see him in his Punisher full costume, whatever.
Not until the last episode, yeah.
And he doesn't really kick. He has a sniper and he helps out the Daredevil, but he isn't really. I mean, I know it's Daredevil's show, but
I guarantee in the Defenders he'll definitely probably make a cameo or two, at least for a few episodes. I would have to imagine that they bring him in. He's just too cool of a fan favorite to leave behind.
And the fact that he's probably the best Punisher ever.
Yeah, for sure. Freaking John Bernthal. So anyway, that's exciting. Let's move on to another Marvel property. We got our new Spider-Man movie titled Homecoming coming out. And Marvel just confirmed that Tony Stark will be in this movie.
That is exciting. Of course, you can't have, nowadays with Marvel, you can't have one superhero in his own movie. Yeah. You got to merge the other ones in too.
This one I think makes a lot of sense though. Yeah. We haven't seen what their relationship is really in Civil War yet, but it does make sense that someone would be I don't know if he's financing Spider-Man, but one of the things that always kind of bugged me about Spider-Man is yes, he's smart. I know he's a high school kid and he's smart and he knows how to make these whatever things for himself, but where's he getting the money to make all this web fluid and have all these little gadgets and stuff?
I think that's why he brings on Tony Stark.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense if Tony Stark kind of helps him out financially.
Do you think here's the thing, do you think that it's an accident that he becomes Spider-Man again? Do you think because think about Tony Stark's father, how he kind of helped create Captain America.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something along those lines, or do you think it was an accident? They just keep it that?
I think it's still going to be the spider bite, whether or not that radioactive spider was created at some sort of Stark experiment. I don't know.
Right.
But I feel they've had Tony Stark basically is responsible for everything. He created. Yeah, his father helped create Captain America. He created Ultron. He's created half of his own villains.
Right.
So
he's also created what's it? The American Soldier. What is it?
Winter Soldier.
No. The other Iron Man guy.
Oh, War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah.
In a way,
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
But I think it's. Here's the thing. You're right. How can this teenage kid who's Spider-Man have all the money and the resources? And Peter Parker's a very smart kid as far as some the comic books, but he kind of merges his brain with Tony Stark. And remember in the trailer for Civil War when Spider-Man's eyes dilate?
Yep.
That's something that probably works with Tony Stark, or Tony Stark helps him create that Spider-Man suit.
I think we're gonna see Civil War really soon, but I still wonder, is this Spider-Man movie a prequel to that or not?
I remember we were talking about that
Yeah.
last time. About when it came out first, when we got the name of the movie, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. Like,
I
what's
don't
the
think
deal
I
with?
don't think it will be because Marvel hasn't been doing that really, but who knows? They might be changing up the formula.
Right. I think it would be good to see the kind of relationship. Do you think, if it's maybe an accident that Tony Stark and Peter Parker run into each other, does Tony Stark seek out Peter Parker? Does Peter Parker seek out Tony Stark? Like,
So
you kind of see that relationship.
I saw something, and I can't remember where I saw this or where I heard it, but I think there's like a little Easter egg where it's like Tony Stark is giving like a high school science scholarship to someone.
Ah.
So I think that's how they get connected, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like accidental kind of fate kind of thing.
Right,
And,
yeah. Like Peter Parker probably like wins this scholarship or this grant or prize money or whatever it is. I can't remember. But
I bet that's how like the movie opens up.
something like that. I mean, I wonder, like, I wouldn't really want Tony Stark to have like a big role in the movie.
Oh no! I mean,
Yeah.
it's a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I want to see
We
Spider-Man.
want the development of this kid, compared to we already had like Iron Man do all that.
But it's also like a total smart move for them because they want to remind like the common audience, like, this is not that Spider-Man that you guys maybe didn't like so much. This is not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. This is not Andrew Garfield. This is a brand new Spider-Man, and he's connected to these other Marvel movies that you really like. And by having Robert Downey Jr. in this movie, that's like the best way to show people that. Like when that trailer comes out and people will be like, "Oh, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man's in this movie."
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to help out a lot.
yeah, that's a good point. Because if it was just a standalone, straight Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, like, I guess you couldn't see the relation to this current Marvel.
Yeah, you might
Marvel
not put it
movie
together.
universe.
You might just be like, "Oh, another Spider-Man." Like, I'm sick of these, but
Yeah, so like that's the thing. Like they want to relate it to all these other Marvel movies, and
Everyone
that's what's
wants
going to
that.
bring the crowd.
Everyone wants that connected universe now.
Do you think? Okay, well, do you think that Iron Man's going to be the only other superhero in this movie? Because I feel like that's not the,
Yeah, I feel like you're right. I feel like
they just like, oh, like we announced the Iron Man, the big one, like is going to be in this movie, and I'm sure there's other ones that they're keeping a secret.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Maybe like
I don't know why.
Ant-Man.
I feel like Ant-Man. Yeah, I would love to see Ant-Man
because they're both insects.
Spider-Man, Ant-Man. Yeah,
they're both the insects. They gotta get together.
Yeah, I like that. So there's another like interesting thing I want to bring up. Kevin Feige, who is like leading this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe since the start, he kind of recently talked about what's going to happen post Phase 3 of the Marvel stuff, and we talked about this like before. We were like, what are they going to do after these last couple of Avengers movies where like everything kind of like, it seems like that's like the end of their story. And he was kind of saying like, that is like the end of this storyline, but it's going to continue. There will be a Phase 4. And what he was saying was that like they kind of looked to the comic books for inspiration, and sometimes the comic books continue on even though things might change drastically and things might look a lot different. So something like that. I'm paraphrasing him. But basically that makes me think that like they might almost do another like X-Men thing like we were talking about, like sort of like change reality or change time. Because I doubt, a lot of these actors are going to be sticking around. So they might have to recast people and find a way to do that. Or maybe maybe just going forward, it's going to be like Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange, or like their main characters.
They're taking the less popular, because I feel like Black Panther is making a big appearance in Civil War. So maybe they're taking these newer guys and making them more relevant. Like they're kind of like toning down maybe Iron Man.
Yeah, kind of like, toning down Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Right. Kind of moving them out of the way. And now they're building up these other characters. Definitely Black Panther. We got Ant-Man. Doctor Strange is going to be huge.
The Winter Soldier, who potentially spoiler what?
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
if you know that spoiler.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at too. Like, switching up and changing these characters and having different people wear the costumes and stuff. So
right. So yeah, I mean, that could be good though. That extends the life of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. Didn't we, like, a really long time ago, we were talking about, like, are we going to be, like, 40 years old and they're, like, still making Marvel movies? Remember? We were talking about, like, Fat Wolverine?
Yeah. Hugh Jackman's like, listen, like, or whatever, like, I can't eat egg white omelets all the time. So he's just like, I'll do Wolverine, but I'm going to be fat. He has the same thing. You're going to have Robert Downey Jr. just, like, just be, like, an older Iron Man in a wheelchair.
Honestly, I think that's a cool idea. Just keep these movies going. Like,
change the characters.
Reboots upset me. Sometimes they're great, but honestly,
because when you reboot, you have to change all the actors.
It's like you're starting over, and everything that you knew before, it just doesn't matter anymore. So it's like annoying. It's like I just wasted my life watching those movies.
And they're doing so good now that if they stop, it's going to be so hard to pick it up in the future. I know.
I feel like they'll never be able to, like, get the ball rolling. So just keep it going.
Keep it going. Make different movies with different superheroes or different stories.
Yeah, and different tones. Like,
right. Doctor Strange, too. Doctor Strange. And then or when they make Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man or whoever, then they could form like another group, like type of Avengers or another thing.
Yeah, who knows? Even like they might get, they already got like the rights to Spider-Man back. They might even get like the rights to like the X-Men someday, and like they could start making X-Men movies that fit in with.
Right, and then we get like Guardians of the Galaxy involved, and
I'm sure they'll probably get Fantastic Four at some point because Fox can't seem to do shit with that.
Right? So, and then imagine we just have like one super movie.
Well,
like all of them. I don't think I could handle that.
And then they could totally start. They keep having these TV shows. They start bringing them into the movie. So yeah, just keep it going.
Yeah, just don't stop.
I want one day there to be like 55 different Marvel movies in the universe. And it's like no one's even like seen them all at this point. There's just like too many to watch them all. But like you could just like collect them. Like you collect comic books, Like who's read like every single Batman comic book? But you could just like start going to the store and start picking them up month by month, and then you could read a bunch and get into it. I don't know.
Compared to like like a new Marvel movie came out.
Right.
On DVD. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Like, I never seen a Marvel movie. Let me check this one out. And then you could, like, start getting into it. And, yeah, be cool.
Yeah.
But let's talk about now X-Men. It's back at Fox. They released the final trailer for Apocalypse. I just really haven't been excited for this movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I mean, I like the X-Men movies, and it's just like, okay, like new X-Men, like kind of cool, this and that. But then like this kind of trailer made me like more excited, like it changed my mind, kind of like made me put this date in my calendar, like X-Men's coming out.
Yeah, I feel the same. I've really been kind of neglecting this. I didn't even realize it's coming out so soon. May 27th?
Damn. Yeah, because I feel like Civil War is just taking it all. And I feel like maybe they were sitting back and letting Civil War take it until once Civil War comes out, and then maybe hopefully they go more advertising.
Yeah, we'll probably see more TV spots and billboards, stuff like that at that point. But yeah, so this trailer had seemed to be Wolverine at the end. Hopefully it's Wolverine. If they're trying to tease us with some like Wolverine ripoff, that would suck.
Oh my god, that would people would riot in the streets. There would be riots in the streets, my friend. Oh my lord, I will burn a theater to the ground.
So and then I think like when I noticed that and I got like excited for this movie, I was thinking like maybe I kind of only like the X-Men movies because of Wolverine.
Yeah, but Hugh Jackman is so good, and Wolverine is the coolest of what I think coolest X-Men, and he takes the cake, and you can't be upset or can't be bothered by like you thinking that.
Yeah, especially like now that they've they've kind of recast all the X-Men, and now it's like a bunch of kids. They're like a bunch of teenagers now, you know? So, like, Wolverine just seems so much cooler and badass compared to them.
He's the father kind of thing.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I feel, it's like, it looks cool, like the plot and the destruction of this movie, the apocalypse. But yeah, like, adding, like, I feel like how you were saying it's kind of like difficult, like a reboot. It's kind of like difficult to like get in touch with these new characters, these new actors.
Yeah.
But then when you throw in someone we know and love, Wolverine, it kind of like, okay, it's bringing an Iron Man to our Spider-Man movie.
I know what I hate more than anything, though. I just realized it. I don't like Jennifer Lawrence being like the main character in this movie.
She's like the leader of these X-Men?
Yeah, it's like the Hunger Games were so popular, and now they're like, oh, let's make Jennifer Lawrence like the new main character of the X-Men. It's like, first of all, aren't you a villain? Like, whatever happened to that?
Yeah, didn't she go? Yeah, right?
Like, what the fuck? It's like they just... it's like Jennifer Lawrence is like a popular actress now, so they were like, okay, let's just make her a good guy and make her the main X-Men.
Right, and like I don't know. Well, Magneto is part of the follower of
the Horsemen, right?
One of the four Horsemen. Maybe like I don't know. I mean, I guess they make up some number that she betrays him or like he betrays her or something. But like it's kind of awkward because it's like I noticed that too. Like some of these X-Men are like evil or like bad guys.
Yeah,
bad guys and good guys. Some are good guys. Some are like isn't. I mean, maybe I didn't realize, but is that Storm one of the four horsemen too?
Storm's one of the four horsemen. Yeah, so
like that's like weird, you know?
And Angel or Archangel, whichever one he is one of the four horsemen too, and he was a good guy.
So they're just kind of like doing whatever the F they want. Maybe they're gonna because like you said, like that one movie where they changed time. Maybe they're just making like X-Men into like a whole new thing. You don't even know who's gonna be good or bad anymore.
But what's the deal with Apocalypse? Does he control their minds? Like, is he like controlling them, or they're choosing to work with him?
I think they're choosing to work with him. As far as what I've always understood.
I feel like Magneto, I feel like Magneto wouldn't do that. I feel like he's a boss. Like, he wouldn't.
But I feel like it's the same plot to every X-Men movie. It's like, okay, the mutants versus the normal people, and they're trying to just have mutants rule the world.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like Magneto would like be subordinate to someone else. I don't know. I guess like power. Overall, I like these X-Men movies. But they don't mean so much to me. They don't hit me that hard. Like, I'm way more looking forward to Civil War than this movie.
I feel like that's just the advertising though of Civil War.
I care about the characters more, like we were saying. Like they recast all these characters and their timelines all over the place. Like sometimes people are good guys, sometimes they're bad guys. It's like it's craziness.
So I think the one thing we could say we're excited about this X-Men movie is Wolverine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what it comes down to.
To what extent do you think Wolverine's in this movie?
Probably just that one scene. It probably is, right? He would be on all the posters and stuff.
I think for the better, yeah. Maybe they're trying to hide him, but like I feel like you want to make a good X-Men movie, just have Wolverine in it as much as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like because I want more Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I want to suck him dry.
Who are they gonna? They're gonna have to recast him. They're either gonna get Hugh Jackman to just keep doing Wolverine movies until he's Fat Wolverine.
He's done. He said he's done.
He said he's done. But
he said he has a gut feeling that he can't eat any more egg white omelets anymore.
Didn't Robert Downey Jr. say he was done being Iron Man like a long time ago too? Though, like they come back, then they see that money.
Him the big, I was gonna say till they paid him big. They paid up on him.
Yeah.
And then he comes back. I don't know, but I feel like Hugh Jackman's not that way though. I feel like he's more of the artist kind of thing, and I don't think he'll come back. I think maybe
so then they'll have to recast him.
Maybe in the future he'll come back like a couple years from now. But I feel like for right now, he wants to do other things. He wants to. I think he wants to get a role where he can gain 100 pounds.
Well, you can't.
He wants egg yolks.
You need Wolverine in these movies, though.
Yeah, you do.
He's like. I just don't care about all these like other little kids like running around like shooting laser beams.
Like, they're like, I don't know how to fight. Like, yeah, just and Jennifer Lawrence is like, yeah, just lose yourself and do whatever.
And there's just like a bunch of blue skinned people like jumping around and like other kids like shooting lasers. It's like, come on, give me Wolverine. Let's see like those claws and just tearing shit up. Maybe
Wolverine kills the main bad guy. I can't remember his name.
Apocalypse.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name.
Wow. Oh,
I think he's got like another name too, like his actual name.
If Hugh Jackman beats Apocalypse in the Apocalypse, then I think that's just recipe for an amazing movie.
Yeah. How do they beat this guy, right? Because
Hugh Jackman, hello, Wolverine. he's internal.
I'm really, I don't know. How are they going to do that?
All right, let's move on. We're
just rambling about this movie, which we are not even that excited for. All right, so let's talk about some DC news. Let's talk about this. I actually am very excited for. I've loved all the animated DC stuff, right. And we know that The Killing Joke is coming out, and it got an R rating, which is great because that means they didn't hold back.
Right, and I think they're changing. I think they're changing the story a little bit. They said, or adding to it. I don't know if you have. I've read the comic book for it.
I've never read The Killing Joke.
It is the thing is I think it needs an R rating. For it is kind of gruesome and kind of creepy in a way. That I don't think they could do a great job without an R rating.
Yeah.
But it's a short story though. It's very short, so I think to make it a good, really good animated movie, they needed to add to it, extend it.
Well, I don't know, man. These animated movies are pretty short.
Yeah, they're like usually overall, an hour, 15 minutes. But from the comic book, they could probably do the comic book in the comic book version, at least that I read, could do it in a half hour.
No, I don't think so. Because when you've seen things moving, like you could read a comic book really fast, but a lot is actually happening. Like if there's for example, if there's a car chase, you could like show that in like one panel of artwork.
True.
But when you see it on TV, it lasts longer.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I think I think though it's kind of vague. From how I felt about the comic book, The Killing Joke, it was kind of vague in some ways.
Yeah, it's like a Joker origin story, kind of, right?
Yeah. It's just kind of like there's a story with Batman and the Joker, and Joker kind of like they just show flashbacks.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it kind of like tells like where he came from. But yeah, it's I think it's a little vague, and I think they want to extend it and like fill in some of the gaps and give a good Joker story. I feel like it's a pretty much a Batman Begins kind of way. It's a Joker where he came from, his origins, and why is he so nuts.
That's cool. I mean, I really like these animated movies that DC does. They're always so good. They're like animation department.
I'm actually like in my free time watching them.
Yeah, right. You've been catching up on all that the Justice League movies, right?
Yeah, I just finished one of them, and it was like the last 3 episodes for one of the seasons. It was like so good. I'm like, wow, like I wish they kind of did some of this stuff, but they're not gonna because some of the characters aren't involved in this Justice League. But yeah. And
have you ever seen any of the Marvel animated stuff? I think that it's horrible. Yeah. The Marvel stuff's horrible.
I actually have that ready to watch.
Really? I don't know. I haven't seen too much, but from what I have seen, I didn't think it was very good. But the DC stuff's great. And it's funny because I actually feel kind of like opposite about the movies. I don't know. I'm saying that I haven't even seen Batman v Superman though, so I'm just going to shut up.
I think you got the gist of Batman v Superman, I think, when you watch it.
I fucking heard everything about this movie already.
I feel like when you watch it, you're going to be like, yeah, 100%.
I know, it sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, so whatever. But yeah, I'm excited about The Killing Joke. It's going to be rated R. and it's gonna I think it's gonna draw a lot of attention for an animated movie compared to some of the other ones, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm
I think
excited.
it definitely is one of the most popular of the Batman comic books. I'm pretty sure it was written by Alan Moore, who's the guy. He's considered one of the best comic book writers. He actually also wrote Watchmen.
Right? Yeah.
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 So
I think they have that in the description of my comic book. It's out of reach for me right now.
And so this just dropped the other day too. They are adding Justice League is adding William Dafoe to their cast as apparently as a good guy.
As a good guy.
Sounds crazy to me.
What does
that guy
that
was
mean?
born to be a bad guy.
He has that because he has those crazy eyes and that big creepy smile.
He has the biggest mouth ever.
Yeah. And people, on social media too, people are still speculating him as being a bad guy in some ways. I'm like, stop it! Like they announced him being a good guy. Like
no one wants to accept that. It's like blowing their mind.
They're like putting Joker paint on him or like other things. I'm like, yo,
he would make a good Joker. I saw that. He'd make a really creepy looking Joker.
He would, but they're making it's just like stop it. Like they said he's going to be a good guy and like leave it at that. Like figure it out. And they're talking about here's what I think. They're talking about what people are speculating what superhero character he'll be. I think he won't be a superhero character at all. I kind of thought he would have been Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, he's too old. He'd have to be.
Yeah, but who is he going to be? I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be a superhero whatsoever. I think he's just going to be a regular, human.
Yeah, he's got to be like a supporting cast member of some sort.
I mean, we already said that J.K. Simmons is going to be testing out the role for Commissioner Gordon.
No, I think he's in. He's locked in.
He's locked in.
I'm pretty sure he's locked in.
I mean, and I also read that Commissioner Gordon's not going to have a big role in the Justice League.
I read that. Yep.
So like William Dafoe, like I mean, where is he gonna be? Like, because I saw him as a Commissioner Gordon. Now I kind of got thrown off. I don't see him as a superhero or obviously a villain because he's gonna be a good guy. But
I'm gonna throw something out there. I don't know if I'm like right or wrong with this, but I kind of think that Marvel does a better job casting their characters.
Yeah,
maybe. Let me talk this through.
I don't know. Because I feel like
DC's getting way better actors. Like these are all like Oscar nominated or Oscar winning. Like,
well, they got to find a way to get people in the seats.
Yeah, true. I mean, they're getting a lot of crazy good talent, but I don't feel like they're putting them in the right roles. I said this once before, but J.K. Simmons, I love him, but as Commissioner Gordon, it doesn't seem like the right fit to me. I don't know why. And then
I get it.
Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, I totally think was.
But J.K. Simmons
wrong.
is an unreal actor. He is one of my favorite. He transforms
awesome.
I think he's going to make a great Commissioner Gordon. I think he would do well. I mean, I understand we can't see him as a Commissioner Gordon because sometimes he's like loud, like loud mouth.
Well, yeah, I picture him like he was perfect in Spiderman as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah,
in those Tobey Maguire movies, like loud mouth and comedic and.
But I feel like J.K. Simmons, he's a great actor, and so is William Dafoe. I feel like they can really
he's
transform.
a great actor too. But to cast William Dafoe as like a good guy, I don't know. I feel like they're always like trying to like put a twist on things. Like, hey, you think you know who Lex Luthor is, but he's actually this little young red-haired, long-haired crazy person.
Yeah,
it's
psychopath.
Like, why are you trying to put a twist on it? Just give us the character we know.
When I kept thinking of William Dafoe in the Justice League or DC Comics, I kept thinking of him like he might be like a Boondock Saints kind of good cop that does bad things kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Like he's a crazy person.
Is there like a precedent character for that? In the DC universe, I can't think of anyone. I
can't either. Maybe they'll make somebody.
But great talent. I mean, now we have
they have the talent. I think DC kind of needs to do that.
I'm just feeling like they're putting the talent in the wrong places, but I could be wrong. I got to rethink that a little more.
But that's hey, you haven't even seen
Yeah,
Batman
I know.
vs.
I know. I should really just stop talking shit. I'm just adding to the shit train.
Right.
I haven't even seen it. Okay, so let's move on to some TV news before we wrap up tonight.
Yep.
We got a new show, Preacher, coming out on AMC. This is also another comic book based show. I've heard the comic is pretty good, and I've heard that the show, some people have been able to screen some footage, and they're saying it's actually really good. Do you think that this is going to be like the next good show on AMC? Because they're kind of, they need something, right? They're running a little dry.
Because, I mean, how much longer is The Walking Dead going to come by? Fear the Walking Dead. It's kind of struggling.
It's still, like, the original Walking Dead's still doing great for them, but, like, let's be honest, like, they're pissing off their fans more and more.
Right. What else? I mean, their Sons of Anarchy's over. Like, what else do they does AMC doing right now?
That's it. I mean, Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, but that's not as popular right now. That's not taking off
like Breaking Bad did. So
I think they're saying it's getting better now. I haven't been watching. I feel like nowadays you got to wait till season 3 comes out before you start watching anything.
I know, we always saw the season 3 effect.
Season 3 is make or break, you know. But yeah, like this is probably the next thing that AMC's gambling on.
They're always gambling on something. They're always trying to get you to watch their new show, and then like it always fails.
I mean, AMC really, I feel like, brought TV to life again. Like,
yeah,
TV shows.
I do agree. On cable, at least, you know, on something cable, that's not HBO or whatever.
And they've been killing it a lot. They've been. I feel like, have they had a TV show that really wasn't that great?
Well, yes, they actually, because listen, they had Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, and Mad Men all playing at the same time.
Oh, Mad Men.
Plus Hell on Wheels, which I guess people like kind of like or something. But
Sons of Anarchy.
I think that was on FX.
Yeah, it was.
but then remember, like they had, I can't even remember the names of these shows, but they've like plowed through a bunch of. They had that one show that had Morgan from The Walking Dead as one of the main characters that they always tried to get you to watch. It was like something Winter. I can't really remember the name. But that was like the show they always tried to push on you every commercial break. Then last year, remember it was like that like samurai show or something that they're always trying to push on you. Can't remember what that was called either.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like every year during their Walking Dead commercial breaks, they always like force you to watch the same commercials for this show, and they always fail.
Right.
And they have that other show, Turn, about Washington spies.
I guess I don't watch that.
I don't watch it either. I'm actually surprised it's still on. But yeah, it seems like they have these shows, and then they're always like failing really fast, and then they have like a new show lined up. But I'm feeling good about this one, Preacher. I like what I see so far of it. It looks
I've
cool.
seen a little bit of it. I haven't followed up on I guess as much as you have, but it kind of like I could be intrigued.
Seems interesting to me.
Yeah. We have something on the watch list. We'll see how it comes out.
And they did greenlight Fear the Walking Dead for a 3rd season, so they got that.
Yeah, I mean, they did. I saw that.
It's doing well enough for them to greenlight another season. So,
I mean, yeah, we'll just see where. We got to see where they take it. That on Fear the Walking Dead, because that's as much as it's in the 2nd season and got greenlighted for a 3rd season. That show's still young.
Yeah, it's still young.
It's still a young show. I mean, hey, season 3, make or break. We'll see.
That's true. Season 3.
Maybe season 3 is the takeoff, and people are going to start getting into it again.
I feel like season 3 is when The Walking Dead, like, I really didn't like season 3, but you didn't like it either.
Right? Didn't we rate that like the worst season?
That's my least favorite season. Although it's got some really good moments, but it's my least favorite.
Isn't that the when they were in the farm?
No, that's when that's when they first get to the prison. It's like all those episodes are just so ridiculous.
Yeah,
all right. Anyway, so let's wrap up tonight just talking about Game of Thrones. It's back on TV. We just did a review of the season premiere. Obviously, we're both huger fans of that show, but there's some talk going around now that there's season 7 and season 8 are kind of going to be like half seasons.
Yeah.
I think they talked about like 6 episodes in one.
Yeah, they're not going to be
in the other.
10. They're not going to be 10 full episodes, and
which
they're
is,
not. And
which
they're
is
not
really
doing that.
disappointing.
They're not doing that breaking it up kind of thing that Walking Dead does. That
They're
AMC does.
They're just straight up doing
They're
like
just doing
one
6
season,
episodes, season 7, so 6 episodes. That's it.
It's like, if you're gonna do that, don't even break it up into 2 seasons. But just do one 13 episode season,
right?
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. But like final season of Game of Thrones, 13 episodes. That's it. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And I mean, do you think they're gonna, excuse me, tell a good story with reducing the episodes? Because there's so many characters.
Well,
so
here's
many plots.
here's what I think. I think that they are gonna tell a good story because if they're trying to keep the episode short, and this is coming from the writers, that means that they have a story that they want to tell, and while HBO is trying to get them to make more episodes so that HBO makes more money, the writers are probably like, yo, if we make more episodes, it's going to be filler. Like, here's our story, and this is what's going to make it good.
Right, so they got this short period of time, and they're just going to cut to the meat of the show.
Yeah,
do all the good stuff. But I mean, what we talked about, we kind of brushed over it a little bit on the side. How there's some characters though in Game of Thrones that you kind of don't know what's going on with them. They kind of like left them behind.
Yeah, right. So so if you haven't seen the first episode of season 6 yet, spoiler alert, but they still do not show what's going on with Bran. Now, right. So it's been a whole season
and
plus an episode now.
Isn't there another brother that they're leaving out too?
That's right, yeah. Rickon,
he hasn't been around.
The youngest brother, Rickon. They haven't seen him since when?
Season 3, I think I heard
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I know the books haven't forgotten about him, but maybe the show.
Maybe that's the thing because I mean the books can go on, I guess, until they could be 1,000 pages, whatever. Compared to the show, who's reducing it down to only like pretty much half seasons.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's a little annoying because I don't want to watch a season that only has like 6 episodes. I'm glad that they're gonna like keep the story tight, but just like episodes. Just fucking give us all 13 in one season. Don't drag us along. I don't like that.
Right. Yeah, they are extending it. Some and I guess just like leaving us in like a limbo kind of thing to see what happens.
But it is also a way for the author George R.R. Martin to have some more time to fucking get his shit together. But
so maybe he's like, hey, like I got a release date for the 6th book kind of thing, and so that's why they're extending it.
It's kind of a mess. Like I don't know what happened with this guy. Like I don't know how he didn't see this occurrence happening, but maybe he just didn't care.
I just don't think he cares. He's just like, I'm writing my book. When I'm writing my book.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
That's what it is. I don't rush me. Like I want to make a good story
like that. It's definitely, yeah. All right, but. All right, guys, that's it for our show tonight. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. George, hit them with the social media.
You can find us on Twitter. We're at Barely Sober News on Twitter. Find us on Instagram also at Barely Sober NR. That's News and Reviews. We also are on Facebook. Please like our Facebook page, YouTube. Barely Sober News and Reviews. Like and subscribe. You'll see our latest videos coming up. I'm George Pecoraro. You can find me on Twitter if you want at Georgie Peck, on Instagram at Peck George.
And you can find me on Instagram at Chris Jocus. That's GEOCOS.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Give us a subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. And finish your drinks and go to bed.